So I think we're ready to move on. We're going to take a look at this next thing here, which is called the NAMS Tweet Composer. Now, the NAMS Tweet Composer, you go to this link, nams.ws/composer tool. And I'm going to put that in the chat box as well. And the reason I'm putting it in the chat box versus the question box is that it will give us the click capability. So I just want to make sure I type it in right. NAMS Composer tool. Okay. And when you go there, this is what you're going to see. It is essentially a spreadsheet. And I see some people are already coming in over here. So the first thing you're going to do when you come to this tool is you are going to come to File, make a copy. And when you do that, just name it for yourself. Name it as, your name, Tweet Composer, whatever it is. And you'll be able to make a copy and make any changes that you want to this site or to the spreadsheet, and not you won't be able to do anything here unless you do that. So we want you to go get your own copy of this, make a copy, File, make a copy. When you do that, you just give it a name. Let's call this Amy's. And save it to your Google Drive. If you have a Gmail, you have a Google Drive. And if you don't have a Gmail, a Google Drive, you might be able to do this as a download and save as an Excel sheet and do the same thing. Okay? All right. So how do you use this? How do you use this? This dashboard shows two files. Now, these buttons are going to generate the type of file that you need for uploading into Twitter. This is a Twitter tool. It's a Twitter tool for creating a scheduled post. And that's why we have something here that we've used and built for that we call Tweet Composer. Now, almost everything out there uses a single column CSV file to load up your schedule. Hootsuite has a multi-column CSV file. So what we have here is the date that this is going to start. So we're going to start these on your scheduled date, and we're going to start this. Oh wait, I want to go to my own. I don't want to go to this one. I want to change this one. This one's fine. Mine's here. Okay. See it? I just said NAMS Tweet Composer for us. So I've got a lot of tabs on here, and I'll show you why in a minute. Okay, so now we're going to change to today's date. Remember what today's date is. There we go. And we're going to do the frequency of tweets per day. We're going to do 10 tweets a day. Let's make it 12 so that we do one every 2 hours. And we're going to do the time that we want them to go out. We're making them go out at 15. It's going to start at 1:45. It's a 24-hour time frame here. And we want it to go out not on the hour. We could give it any kind of special time. So it could go like at 1:47 would be when it starts. So then it's going to start in frequency every 2 hours after that, because I did 12 of these, and it's going to automatically schedule based on that time when I click this button up here. All right, so the very next tab you come to is going to be your data input, your data input. Now, let me just go through this and tell you what's here, okay? So let's make sure you understand that these are the headers here for this. And you have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. So you have the tweet length. This is automatic. You'll notice there's a formula here. You don't want to type anything in this because it's a formula that calculates the length so that you know what your length of your post is going to be. Then you have hashtags here. Hashtags are, for sharing, those kind of things. Then you have a URL if you're sending to a blog post or to a sales page or to somebody else's post or something you find interesting or a picture or whatever it is. Then you have a prefix. You can leave this blank if you want to, but I always try to put a prefix on it, which is like attention or retweet please. That's a RT please, retweet please. That's going to be asking people to actually just click it and share it. because you get a lot more shares when you and retweets when you do something like that. Okay. And you'll notice that you can change and add as many as you want in here. And then this last column is what's the content that you're sharing? What's the tweet? Now, where do you get all this information? Well, there are some really good things out there that are like Alice Seba has a 365-day tweet tool or tweet data sheet for marketing. So it's like daily stuff that you can get. You can always start with somebody else's, but here's what we do with this. So let me just click on this link and open that up, and I'll show you what we've done. So this is for a blog post. And the blog post is, now notice what I did there, and what I did there was I just clicked on this URL that I input. So this URL I input in here. Then I clicked on it. I came over here to the blog post where it's going to take me. So now, if I look at this blog post, I'm just going to scan this blog post. It's one of our anchor posts. Ton of information here, and I'm not reading it. I'm just looking, right? So there's a lot of material here. So I can, and this is what I did, come through that blog post and just pull out sentences, okay? So I just pull out sentences from the blog post, like check out my article 5. This is the very first thing. That's the title of the article, right? Check out my article, 5 affiliate marketing strategies that convert like crazy. These are my favorite techniques that have earned us more than $1 million in affiliate commissions over the years. Email marketing is still the king of online marketing ROI. Now, look, 5 affiliate marketing strategies that convert like crazy. That was the first one. Here's the next one. These are my favorite techniques that have earned us more than $1 million in affiliate commissions over the years. And you just go through and you just start pulling out sentences, things that look like things that you want to add, or that would help people understand, or maybe you modify a little bit or whatever. So I've just gone through this blog post and pulled, how many is this? Let's make sure it's the same. So this one is, I think I've just got a few extra different redirect links here that goes to the same thing, but let's make sure. Okay, this is different. All right, so I've got a few different URLs in here, and I've just gone through and pulled out different things so that I can schedule some traffic. Now, I want to make sure that I haven't gone too fast, too far already. So does this make sense, what I'm showing you guys already on the Tweet Composer? Just not how you use it, not what you're going to do with it, all that kind of stuff, but just what it is. So is this making sense?
Yes, everybody's saying yes.
Okay, good, good. All right, so now I've got this bad boy built, right? So, and I'm not going to get into the redirect stuff and the URLs, but you can put a raw URL in here, or you can put a redirect URL. We use NAMS.ws to track all of our links. So these all go to different things, okay? So I've created, and actually you can have an assistant do this. I have Alberto do this for us. He goes through and grabs all of that stuff from pages, and you'll notice I've got, what is that about? That's 288 tweets right there. And at 12 a day, that is, what is that? That's 20 days? Yeah, that's just over 20 days. So that's automated content that we can schedule. Now let's go back to the dashboard. Okay, I'm going to export it to a single column. So I just click this button. It's running the script, tells me it's running the script, and it's asking me to authorize this. Okay, so I'm going to continue to run, giving it permission. It'll take you to Google, and it asks you to sign in with your account. And I am, and I'm going to let it do this, and it's going to run. And then I give it a name, and this is going to be Tweet Demo, okay? And I'm going to save it. Now it saves it in 2 places. If you have, and you do because you are using this on Google Sheets, you have a Google Drive and you also want to download it. It's going to save automatically to your Google Drive, but you want to download it as well to your file on your computer. So let's see. I'm just going to put this in my downloads for the moment. Okay. And it saved it with this name, Tweet Demo, which is what I gave it the name of, Tweet Demo. And now I'm going to come to my favorite tool, whatever it is, whether I'm using Postblazer, Buffer, or most other tools, whatever you're using. These are the ones that we look at most. And not Hootsuite, because I didn't save it as a multi-column there. So if I open this up, there it is. If I open it up, it should open in Excel. There it is. This is that file, but it's all one column, right? And it's got all of that material that just what it did was concatenate everything. So it's hard for you to see this, but it is this is the first one. It says attention. And there's the URL, there's the content, and it's ready to rock and roll. So now I'm going to load that to my preferred automation tool. And these tools that I'm showing you today are traffic tools, right? Traffic tools. That's what we're after here, is driving more traffic. So I'm going to jump ahead here and just show you how I would load this one do I have Postblazer open? I don't think I do. Just going to add it to Postblazer, which I keep in my, we use it a lot here, so. Okay, this is my Twitter profile for my personal profile. Is that my, and where's my other one? This is conversation. Yeah, okay, so this is the profile that I use for Twitter. Okay, so I'm going to open that up, and you'll see here, if I go to Post Queue, and then I choose that Twitter profile, it shows you that I have nothing in the post queue, right? Got nothing there. No post for this profile yet. Okay, so now I want to schedule post. So I click on schedule post, and I've still got my Twitter profile selected, and I'm going to schedule multiple posts. I can put them in one at a time. I can do links, or I can do videos, or I can do a CSV file. So I'm going to do a CSV file. So then I select my CSV file, and that was in downloads, and tweet demo. And now it's add to queue. Fetching the upload. Okay, now let's cross our fingers and hope that this worked, because always these live things always scare me a little bit. So now I'm going to come back to post queue and click this guy, and here's all my posts. So you'll notice that this one is scheduled for, and this is European date, it is the 5th of April, 2020, 6:30 a.m. This one's going to go out, and there's my URL. And some of them had pictures and some of them don't. Now that's in Postblazer. And so this is the automated scheduling of my tweets. Now I can shuffle these, and I will shuffle all, and it's just going to rejigger them so that it puts them in random order. Okay. All right. So if I, and this is, see what that does. Yeah. So there is an image with that. So it just regenerates the images if it doesn't show up. Okay, good. All right, so that's how that works. Now, we're not going to go into Postblazer right now. We're going to come back to that a little bit later, but I wanted to make sure that you understand the tweet composer. This is pretty easy. Now, what we do is we will take, since we know that this is on a specific topic or specific topics, we create a copy of this. I can just right-click on this tab, copy to a new sheet, Oh, sorry, we're just going to copy it here. And wait, is it copy or is it duplicate? Let me see what that is. Duplicate, that's what I want. Okay, so it just makes a copy of it to tab. And now that is going to be named, I'm just going to name that my tweet demo. Okay, so the reason I've done this is because I now have tabs for everything that I'm creating in all the different, so these are different products that I have, or different blog posts, or whatever they are. And the reason I'm saving those is because I want to come back and combine them all into one at some point and create a massive generation of random tweets, so that I've always got something going out. The more that I do over time, the greater my pool of, and the greater my breadth of content that I'm moving out there. So if I only do one tab today and I do 12 tweets a day on one topic, it's just going to be like overkill, right? So as I'm creating these, we're saving these, and we are then just going through and combining them all, and we can load these tabs. We can load these tabs to PostBlazer and then shuffle in PostBlazer. So that's one of the reasons I like PostBlazer a lot. All right. So this is just an organization tool. It's very simple. And the reason that I'm giving it to you is I do have some programming that goes into this thing, as you can see, but it's mostly strategy. It's mostly strategy because we're really interested in taking advantage of Twitter as much as possible here. So how are we doing, Amy? We got questions on this?
Sorry, I had to unmute myself.
That's okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to pull the questions out too.
Go to webinar keeps popping my questions all the way back up to the top. Let's see.
Okay. I'm confused. Is this a setup? I don't understand that question. Okay. So tell me a little bit more there, Cindy. Yep. Can I do this without a Google Drive? Yes, you can. No, you can't. This is a Google tool. So you have to do this with a Google tool. You got to integrate with Google to run the script. Let's see, is this for posting tweets or posting on my website? Posting tweets. It's for posting tweets from your website. Let's see. And okay, so the image is embedded in the URL. So that's a different thing. So I can go through that at some point and show you guys how we do that, but not on this one right now. And yes, there's a replay for this morning's class. Yes, there will be. Are any of the tools free to use your CSV file with? So you can load them to, oh gosh, I think there is a free, I think there's a free version of Buffer or Hootsuite, but it's very, very limited. Nothing's free these days, it seems like, so for scheduling at least. All right. And why would you send so many tweets? So the reason you're sending a lot of Twitter is kind of like a billboard. You know how when you're driving down the road and you can see these digital billboards that will switch in about 30 seconds or 5 seconds even, sometimes from one ad to the next ad. That's what Twitter is. And Twitter is from a marketing perspective. And Twitter will it's top of screen, always top of screen. People just don't scroll very long. So you want to have your stuff out there as much as you can, and you're all about driving traffic back to your site. So that's why you do so many tweets to Twitter. It's just a traffic channel. That's it. That's all we're doing, is trying to get people out there as much as possible. Can this be used for other social media sites if we don't use Twitter? Didn't design it for anything but Twitter, but you do end up with a CSV file that you can manipulate if you want to. So I don't know. I guess yes, but I'm not sure how. How many tweets would you send for one blog post? So what I'm doing is we're scraping and doing as much content from a blog post as possible, and then mixing that content up over, as many pieces of content as we have. So if I have 10 blog posts and I've created, 30 tweets per blog post, I now have 300 tweets that I can randomly organize, and which is kind of an oxymoron, randomly post, so that you're getting your content out there all the time in different ways. Now, you don't want to flood the place with just one post, one blog post 20 times. You don't want to do that. Okay, let's see. No, Joe, I just answered that one, I think. No, you wouldn't do all 12 of those in one day. You want to get more and more. This is for building your plan, basically. I think it is, Leah. I'm not sure. I think it's in the insider software section, but I'm not sure. Okay. Is Postblazer a free tool? No, it's not. Do you recommend Hootsuite? I have Hootsuite. Hootsuite does a great job with reporting and everything. It can get a little expensive. I've grandfathered into Hootsuite from many years ago, and I think I pay like $6 a month for the basic platform stuff. But if I went to the tool right now, it would be a lot more than that. So it'd be more like $15 to $20 per user per month. So I stick with what we've got there. Replays will be in the Learning Center in your where you signed up for this, in the Learning Center, where you get all your homework and everything else. Yes, you do track the effectiveness of tweets, but we'll talk about that when we get, I think that's the last session that we do, which is about continuous improvement. And you do want to track as much as possible, but I would not let tracking stop you from getting stuff out. You can always come back and add tracking. We want to get you started, so don't get too hung up on tracking. Yeah, each tab is a different product. Correct, Julia. Each tab is a different product, and you create those. So you only start with, if I go to the one that I've opened up here, you see you only start with the Composer tab, and it will be blank, and then you add them as you go. You just copy them. Okay. The CSV file is saved from this Google Sheet to and as a CSV, which is a text file. And you don't ever have to open it in Excel. You can just load it straight up to whatever tool that you're going to use. Okay. Thank you, Debbie. Glad you like it. Who will the tweets go to? That'll go to anybody on that Twitter feed. So you're going to choose a Twitter feed, and you're going to put this up there, and then you will send it out to whoever is on your feed. So for example, I've got, I think, 7,000 people on my feed. I don't use Twitter that much. So I've got 7,000 subscribers to my Twitter feed. I don't use Twitter personally very much, let me say that. My wife uses Twitter all day long because she's a sports fanatic, and she gets all of her sports stuff on Twitter. She stays in touch with everybody, players and coaches and all that kind of stuff on Twitter. But I don't use it to communicate. I use it to market. So I'm not in there. I just try to schedule everything in an automated way. So you get more subscribers from Twitter by offering good content. So if you go to our MyNAMS Facebook page, you'll see that we have a lot of content posted there that we will continue to do over and over again. And we use those as well. Those also go out to Twitter so that people will follow us on Twitter because they like our content, or they will subscribe to our system so that they get notifications. So that's really what you're trying to do, is get more people on your list. That's the reason for tweeting a lot and posting a lot, is getting more people on your list. Glad you like it, Julia. Each tweet contains a link to your site. Is the link active in the tweet, or must a viewer cut and paste? Nope, the link is active. You just click it. When you go to the site, you just click it. Twitter and TikTok are not even close. TikTok is video, Twitter is completely different. So yeah, it's still very, very useful. Okay. So Marjorie, when you went in to watch your homework, you were in the Learning Center. So depending on your level of access, you have multiple things that you can see, and free tools that you can download. This may be in the Insiders Club area, but you can download it from the link that I've given you here as well, which was nams.ws/tweet composer. It's in the chat box there. Postblazer is showing 97 a month on their site. Yeah, you can get that for a lot less. I think if you go to the link that we have for Postblazer, I'll just go ahead and put that in here right now. It's, I think, $37 one time, special deal for us. Let's see, Postblazer. And it comes with their training as well. So I'll put that in the link there. No, Tamika, I feel like this is a dumb question. Nonetheless, if we're using a spreadsheet that you provide, are we promoting NAMS products, or are we supposed to replace the content with our own using the layout you provided? Nope. All you do is you can come into this. This is just sample data right here. So you can come in here and delete all of this. I want to do that. Let me think about this. Let me come over to my own before I do this. So I'm going to come in here. I've made this tweet demo thing, and I'm going to come to this, and I'm just going to delete this. Delete all that. And now it's blank. Okay. So I'm going to come here, and I'm going to type a hashtag employee relations. I can't remember your URL. I think it's HTTP.
Employeeandrelate.com.
Is it 2 E's?
No, it's just employ. No E.
No E.
There you go.
Okay, and please RT. Whoops. And this is Tamika's best blog post ever. Okay. Now, let's see. Wait, what did I do? Oh, crap. I deleted that guy. So I'll have to lock this so that you guys can't delete that too. So now that we have this in here, it tells me how long that tweet is. So sorry, I was just thinking about a programming thing as we were looking at this. See how I could fix that right up. All right, good. So that's the reason I left it in here. You're going to copy. What you do is you then copy this. I'm glad you brought this up. So now we're going to copy this. So now you've got your tweet links and everything. You've got your hashtag. You've got your URL, and then you just come in and do all of your content from here, right? So this is more info. Okay. All right, so that's the way that that works. So that gives you an idea of how to create your own data here, correct? So does that clear that up? Okay. Yeah, we do have RSS feeds for our blog, and we're not going to talk about that today as well, but we do use RSS feeds. All right. Can you have more than one Twitter account? Yep, you can. You can. I have like 6 or 7, I think. And Olga will talk about that. That's part of your simple click tracker thing, the images in the URL. Can this be done with Buffer as well? Yep, Buffer. This, if you go back to the dashboard, this is the single. You just figure out what your provider needs, and usually it's a single file. Only Hootsuite to date, I think, is the one that uses the multi-column file, but you just click the same file and you end up having a buffer file that you can schedule. Okay. Yep. So that link, Leah, is for Postblazer, and that's what it is. It's really focused on, the training is on creating profitable Facebook pages. So if you go through that door, you're going to get a better deal on Postblazer than you do the $97 per month page. Yeah, all the chat will be provided, and all the links will be provided in the PDF that we send you as well. Let's see. Yeah, Ralph, I don't know. I have not addressed this, and I'll look. It seems to work for everybody else. I'll check it. Tweet length includes hashtags. Yes, it includes everything. It includes everything. All right. Where do we get the content? You have to create the content, or you pull the content from your blog post. This is a tool that you will continue to build into. So Postblazer is not just for Twitter, it's for Facebook and Twitter, and he is also adding additional platforms now. This is a friend of mine in Australia, and he's building out more stuff. Now, the one thing I'll tell you about Postblazer, did I go away from it? When we get into Postblazer, the thing that I love about it is it only schedules things one at a time. So Twitter, Facebook, everybody does not know that you have scheduled posts, because it works in Postblazer to do the updating. So if you put everything in Hootsuite, you'll see that it has a whole bunch of scheduled posts just ready to go. And I like that a lot. So you can use this for Hootsuite too, that's right. There is a length restriction on Twitter. I think it's 140 or 280. I think they're now at 280 on there. No, not 37 a month. I don't believe that is 37 one time. Okay. And Tamika, that's from SCT. That's from the Simple Click Tracker. The only thing I've gotten from you is the original. Okay. Pinterest on the list. And yep, that's it. That's the right one, Diva. That's the right one. All right. All right. So that's it for the Tweet Composer. The Tweet Composer is pretty simple, and I hope that's helpful to you. You guys can use that tool however you need it. Okay. So I'm going to move on to the next one, unless there are more questions about this.